Well, the first day in pads did not disappoint. I can say that. A little sloppy in the beginning, which is not unexpected. You put the pads on and you bring intensity and contact and competition into the game. And it's been a while since we've been in that setting. But as practice went on, the guys settled in. But the one thing I will say is, the days of anything less than highly physical defense and physical offense are over. I mean, that bunch, and it's to the point now, we got to make sure we keep it from going overboard. But they competed at a very high level. There was a ton of energy. There was a ton of, just intensity out there on the field. Lots of good, a million things to correct. But the one thing that they responded to was we challenged them to show that this was going to be a hard-nosed football team. And I think there was a lot of intent in the way they practiced today to show that in everything they did. It was really enjoyable to see. It's now you can fix all the other stuff.
Were there any position groups that really caught your eye just watching them live in terms of embracing that physical mentality?
Well, I mean, I think the secondary, the stand-up kids on defense, the way they run to the ball, and just the way they competed, I thought was really, really good. I thought the offense responded late in practice and in our inter-practice competition, just in the way they competed in a it's a 3-on-3 matchup. But I thought so I'd say some of the O linemen and the stand-up kids on defense.
It's been a while since they've had contact, and they sure did turn it on.
They had plenty today, so it was we only had 3 scripted kind of live segments. We had a little one-on-one segment to start practice that you guys got to see a little bit of. We had our inside run drill, which that was the one I thought was a little sloppy. But I mean, they're so juiced up. I mean, they'll get that together. But it wasn't for lack of physicality. I thought team was really good. It's a little too much at the very, very beginning, but settled into a good thud tempo. And I thought the competition at the end had tremendous intensity. It was an exciting way to end practice.
How's DJ Ford doing back there? He's so tall and he looks the part. How is he doing just being implemented back there?
Very well. He is long. He is rangy. He's smart. The thing that's been so impressive to me is just I spent a lot of time last week with that unit, and just his preparation in the meeting room, taking detailed notes, asking really good questions, just really preparing himself, and then taking that to the field. And you can tell he's a savvy guy that's played a lot of snaps. But he had a very, very strong day today. Had a big pick during one of our competition settings, and so I think he's coming along really nicely. And the best thing about that is it's raised the level of play of the other guys in that room. That's a competition. Competition brings up the best in everybody.
I asked you about a couple of position changes last week. So I asked about a couple more. Brian Gagg and Keziah Everett, how have they looked thus far?
I thought Gagg had a good, solid start in helmets. I was anxious to see how it would go today. He didn't back down, which I was proud of him. And I'll tell you this, that kid is working his tail off. So was it perfect? No. But he just made a transition from a quarterback who's been in a red jersey for 2 years to now all of a sudden he's in the middle of inside run trying to block a defensive end. So, I want to look at the film. But I'd say overall through 3 days, 1 day of contact, we're happy with the direction he's headed. Keziah's going to be fine. I think that his feet and his power are going to give him a shot there. The thing that he's struggling with right now is he's never played offensive line before. So, but again, both kids, same things are allowing them to progress positively, and that's a good attitude and just really having a lot of drive.
Coach, what were you able to see today during the 3-on-3 drills from your defensive line?
It was intense. I look forward to looking at the film. I mean, I was just trying to stay out of the way so I didn't get caught up because it was a melee now. So I got the leg whipped a couple of times. I got some red scars all over my shins and stuff. That's from the cleats and everything. But it was exactly what we needed because, when you get in that setting, you still are pretty young on the defensive front, and you've got some older guys on the offensive line. And you get in that setting, it brings out. I mean, it exposes you or it shows what you got in you. And I really thought that it brought out a lot of high-level competition, so it's going to be a great film to watch.
It doesn't sound like you're having to ask for energy anymore.
No, you're not having to ask for energy. We may have to figure out a way to harness it at times. But there's plenty of energy, and there's plenty of fight, and there's plenty of intensity.
In order to win in this league, you got to play defense.
Yep.
And what's the biggest things that you feel like you're going to have to do to, to turn the corner in that regard?
I think consistency. I think that I think you're going to see us play at times. I would anticipate again showing improvement over last year's defensive front. So I think you're going to see some times where we're going to play pretty well. I'm 3 days in the spring practice saying that, but I really believe in this bunch. The things that hurt us last year was inconsistency. Giving up big plays, giving up big runs. Not being able to put enough pressure on the offense at times. So I think those things right there are the things we got to continue to correct. I think the consistency piece and some of the big plays piece will improve just with the second year in the scheme and an improved ability just from development. And I think that just continuing to improve our ability to put pressure on the offense.
On offense, with Latrell Scott coming in and being that passing game coordinator, what does that exactly kind of mean? I guess how is he going to be involved in anything specifically, or how can he kind of affect the offense this spring?
Well, I think that we're fortunate to have a guy of his experience level here. I think he'll bring a lot to the room from thoughts and ideas. I think he'll bring a lot to the room from a game planning standpoint. Haven't changed anything with who our offensive coordinator is, and that's Donnie Kirkpatrick. And it's he's the guy that's in charge of running the offense. But I think we've brought in a guy that has tremendous experience and can bring something to the table when it comes to just sitting in that room and breaking down how to attack people, bringing some thoughts and concepts that maybe, I think anytime you bring new guys to staff, you're bringing in somebody that's been exposed to some different things. So I think you're always going to have some new things that they will bring into us. Chris is going to do that on offense. Latrell's going to do that on offense. Tim's going to do that on defense. That's one of the positive things of bringing some fresh guys in.
Looks like Fernando, at least for now, is out. Y'all have had to kind of slide around some different centers.
Yeah.
How has that process been this morning?
Well, that's been frustrating because Fernando's out and Trent's out. Now we expect both of them to make it back. Hopefully Trent will make it back at some point during the spring. But that's two experienced centers that we don't have out there right now. So the positive is you're working some other guys at center. So you're going to see multiple guys snapping, and that's going to be positive for the fall. Sure, it caused some issues a little bit during the early part of team today because it's the first time that some of those guys had a live guy right in front of them while trying to snap the ball. So just got to continue to work through that. But long term we'll get them back. Short term it's going to be something we'll have to deal with.
How is the running back room responding to a new coach?
Oh, I think they're responding well, and I think it's a credit to Chris. And I think it's a credit to the relationship that Chris and Darrell have. They're very close. I think they're similar. They're different in some ways, but Chris brings that same compassion for his players, his same genuineness with how he communicates with them, and he brings that same fire and energy. Now they're different in the way they bring that fire and energy, but I think that all the guys in that room have positively kind of made the transition and are really growing in their relationship with him.